Joining me today on NYSE Floor Talk is Jose Carlos Del Valle. He is CFO at Nexa Resources. Jose, it's wonderful to have you here. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Jose, as a top global zinc producer, tell me, how is Nexa Resources navigating the current scenario of lower prices, and how is it leveraging its integration between mining and smelting segments?
Nexa is the fifth largest concentrate and metal zinc producer in the world. We have a history of more than 60 years operating mines and smelters both in Peru and in Brazil. And even though we have a benefit of having a partial hedge in terms of the cyclicality of the business, because we have both mines and smelters, we are feeling the impact. We also have a strong contribution from byproducts like copper, silver, lead, but still we have to change the strategy when we have these lower price cycles. First of all, we are focusing on making sure that we complete the ramp up of our new flagship mine, Aripuanã, in the state of Mato Grosso in Brazil. This mine will allow us to consolidate our leadership in the zinc market. It will also allow us to increase our copper production, and will increase the level of integration that we have between our mines and our smelters. Aside from that, we're focused on those things that we can control. Basically, increasing production, both in terms of additional throughput, recovery, so that we can maximize the amount of metal that we can sell to the market. Increasing productivity through a number of initiatives, reducing costs through efficiencies and stronger partnerships with our suppliers and our contractors, and definitely also through disciplined capital allocation, more than ever to preserve cash under these circumstances. One other topic that I think is important to mention is our focus on people. Because even though these are difficult times, it's the people who really need, the people who work for Nexa, who need to understand the challenges that we're facing and how we can work together in a collaborative way more than ever to make sure that the company performs at its best in any price scenario.
Jose, tell me, what's your strategy for value creation?
Right, for value creation, I would highlight four pillars. First of all, our people and our culture, sustainable cash flow generation, growth, and ESG. In terms of people and culture, I think it's no coincidence that we put even more emphasis this year in terms of our people and our culture, because the people who work for us, our employees, are the ones who are actually the ones that will make it possible for us to deliver on our goals. So it's key that we work together with them and that we prepare for whatever scenario we face. The second one is sustainable cash flow operation, and for us that means operational excellence and capital discipline. Operational excellence in terms of making sure that we are a safe operation and that we maximize productivity, and disciplined capital allocation to make sure that we allocate our cash or spend the cash that we generate in a way that maximizes the value that it generates to all of our stakeholders in any price scenario. The third pillar I would mention is growth. And here I would highlight the four ways in which we can achieve growth. The first one is investing in greenfield exploration to identify potential for development of new mines. There's also the possibility to increase the life of mine of our own operations, which we do also through exploration, so that we have better geological information about our properties. There's also the possibility of increasing production in our current operations through brownfield projects. And then always a possibility of inorganic growth through M&A, which we're obviously always looking for when the opportunity comes across.
Jose, decarbonization is a crucial global challenge. Tell me, how are you contributing to this effort, particularly in terms of sustainable mining practices and reducing the carbon footprint of your operations?
Sure. This is a super important aspect of our business, and it's no coincidence that we made public our ESG commitments about a year ago, when we were here celebrating the 5th year anniversary of Nexa's IPO at the New York Stock Exchange. I would first start by saying that Nexa currently has one of the lowest carbon footprints in the industry, according to a study elaborated by Scar & Associates in 2021. So this is a good starting point, but we're not happy just with that. So we are aiming to achieve a 20% reduction in the direct emissions by 2030. By 2040, we're aiming to have emissions neutrality, and by 2050, we're aiming to achieve net zero emissions. The types of things that we're doing are, for example, focusing on increasing our reliance on renewable sources for energy. We're working on implementing more circular economy initiatives, for example, maximizing the recirculation of water, trying to, for example, produce cement with tailings. So those are examples of the types of things that we're doing through innovation. These are all, initiatives that we all have to work together on to achieve our goals.
All right. Well, Jose, wonderful to talk with you. Thanks for joining me on Floor Talk today.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.